All right, spoiler alert. If you are watching this video, that means that you went through the entire review for the test tomorrow and you tried every problem you could. Okay? So let's go ahead. This is the answer to number 1. It says the vertices of the triangle. So I'm going to graph it first. -3. -3 is here. Remember to label your points. -6, +5 here. This is B. -3, -3 is here. This is A. +5, 2 is here. This is C. C. So this is A, B, C, like this. That's my triangle. I'm going to change this one here. Well, the confusion, I made a mistake. It should be -6, +5, which is here. There's my triangle. Now it says find the length of the legs AB, BC, and CA. So when I hear the word length, I'm thinking Pythagorean theorem or the distance formula. And I'm just going to go ahead, since I graphed it already, I'm just going to go ahead and use the Pythagorean theorem. So if I want to find the length from A to B, I'm going to do, this is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 squared plus 3 squared, which is 64 plus 9, which equals the square root of, let's see, 64 plus 9, I believe it's 73. 73. Okay, then I'm going to do from B to C. So I'm going to go across and down. This side is 3 again. This side is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So from B to C is 11 squared plus 3 squared, which equals 121 plus 9, which equals the square root of 130. And then last thing I'm going to do is the bottom part here. We're going to go to this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this side is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is from C to A is 5 squared plus 8 squared, which is 25 plus 64. 25 plus 64 equals 89. Now I want the perimeter. So the perimeter is the square root of 73 plus the square root of 130 plus the square root of 89. And you can just type that right in your calculator. Make sure to arrow over. And I get it's about 29.4. And that says, Jonathan says the triangle is a right triangle. Do you agree or disagree? Okay, if I'm looking for a right triangle, I'm looking for opposite reciprocal slopes, because opposite reciprocal slopes will produce perpendicular lines, and perpendicular lines are the only way to get a right angle. And when I look at this, I'm going to say disagree, because in this particular case, my slope, so let's go from B to A, my slope is -8/3. From B to C, my slope is -11/3. And from A to C, my slope is 5/8. And in none of those cases is there an opposite reciprocal slope. So that means no 90-degree angle. All right, moving on. And this is all review all the way back to unit module 1. So if you did well on this, you might want to consider going back and retaking module 1. All right, use the value on the right to find the value of x and y. So this one I got to really kind of dig deep. So first, information that I know. is I know this is a 90-degree isosceles triangle. So I also know that this angle here and this angle here are going to be congruent. And I know they have to add up to 90 degrees. So basically I'm going to take 90 and divide it by 2, which tells me this is 45 and this is 45. That's an isosceles triangle. Okay. Now, what other information I know is that this angle also is a 45 degree because it's been marked the same as this one. So now to find x, here I also know that this side is going to be congruent to this side. So I'm going to take 180, subtract 45. That's 135. And then I'm going to divide that by 2. And so my answer is 67.5. So my value for x is 67.5, and this one's also going to be 67.5. So x equals 67.5, and y equals 40. Okay, so the first question is asking me to find the midpoints of A, B, and B, C. Okay, so midpoint, I have to go back and look at my, okay, I remember midpoint formula again is x plus x divided by 2 and y plus y divided by 2. Okay, so if I want to find my midpoint of AB, I'm going to look at the coordinates of A and B. A is currently at 2, 2. B is currently at 4, 8. And C is at 8, 0. Okay, so to find my midpoint from A to B, I'm going to add 2 plus 4 divided by 2 and 2 plus 8 divided by 2. So that puts my midpoint at 3, 5. Right here. And that makes sense. Okay? I'm going to do the same thing from B to C. So B is at 4 plus 8 divided by 2 and 8 plus 0 divided by 2. So my midpoint here is at 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's 6 and 4. Let's see if that makes sense. It sure does. So I said this is point F, and this is point E, and I can connect the dots if I want, but I don't have to. All right, now it's asking me, what is the length of AC? Once again, if I see the word length, I'm thinking Pythagorean theorem in this case, or distance formula. And because I have a graph, I'm just going to go ahead and do Pythagorean theorem. So this side is 2, this side is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the length of is 2 squared plus 6 squared, which is 4 plus 36, which equals the square root of 40. So the length of AC is the square root of 40. What is the slope of AC? Well, it's down 2 over 6. So the slope of AC is negative 2 over 6, which is equal to negative 1 over 30. Okay. If you're struggling with this, you want to go back to lesson, this is lesson 24. All this stuff is in lesson 24. Okay, let's move on. This would be back to lesson number 19 and lesson number 18, where we did triangle sum. So we want to know the measure of the exterior angle. There's a couple ways to do it. First of all, I can see that these two together will equal 180. So I could do 180 minus 67. So that's 113. Or I could add these two together here. And if I do 67 plus 46, I also get 113. So n is 113 degrees. Okay, so it says another exterior angle has 110 degrees. Find two possible sets for the angle measures of the triangle. So again, this is going to be an isosceles triangle. So two possible sets of measures. So we know the exterior angle here is 110. So that means this one has to be 70, because 70 plus 110 is 180. So I could make then this angle here 70, and then this one would be 40, right? So it'd be a 70, 70, 40. Or I could do this. This is 110. Say this is 70. Let's say I make let's do 110 divided by 2. 2 goes in there 5 times. 5 times 2 is 10. 55. So this would be a 55 and a 55. And if you had 55 plus 55 plus 70, you should get 180. And 55 plus 55 also gives you 110. And this, in this case, your equal sides are here. In this case, your equal sides are here. So that was kind of challenging, but kind of fun at the same time. So you're making a isosceles triangle. Okay, let's go ahead and label what we know. First of all, we know this is an isosceles triangle, and so I'm going to automatically mark this angle and this angle congruent, being that they're the base angles. And then it says a measure of IHG, so this one here is 2x plus 8, and IGH is 4x minus 4. Well, I know this one's also going to be 4x minus 4. So to figure out the angle measure, I'm going to add all three. 2x plus 8 plus 4x minus 4 plus 4x. And they're all going to equal 180. Unfortunately, there's no easier way to do it. So you're going to combine your like terms. That's 10x. And then 8 minus 4 is 4 minus 4 is 0. So 10x equals 180, so x equals 18. And then I go back and want HGI. So it's going to be 4 times 18 minus 4. I'm going to get my calculator. Turn it on. Let's see. 4 times 18 equals 72 minus 4 equals 68. What's cool is that both this angle and this angle are 68 degrees. All right, let's quickly finish this one. It looks like I'm going to have to make a second video. So let's go ahead and start here. It says name each pair of congruent triangles and state the postulate or theorem. So what I would do is do S, 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 A, S, A, A, S, A, S, A, and HL. Those are the 5 we learned. And we're going to use those to answer the question. And I'm going to go ahead and pause the video here, and we'll come back to the next problem and work them out.